Bom dia. Welcome back. Having Eliomar, Tanya, and Octavio here this weekend really shows me, reminds me that there are cultural differences between me, the Gringo, and them, the Brazilians, the Baianos. And those cultural differences are very much reflected in my apartment. They are very understanding. Of course, we've all known each other for well over 20 years, so they know a lot about my eccentricities, the eccentricities of a Gringo, and I understand their not eccentricities, but their habits and customs and how they're somewhat different from mine. And one of those is how we keep house, how we arrange our houses. Okay, I'm going to start with my outdoor patio. I can tell that Tanya is totally perplexed and dislikes all of these plants out here. She is extremely clean, which I greatly appreciate. Oh my God, she leaves my apartment sparkling. She's always cleaning. I tell her, you don't have to do that, but she does it, and I greatly appreciate it. But I know she finds all of these plants to be very dirty, doesn't understand. And same with my brother-in-law who lives down the street, El Sino. His immediate reaction was, what's with all these plants? You could put a barbecue out here, a churrasco. You need to put a churrasco out here, because Brazilians are very, very social. They're a group culture. And the idea of using all of this space out here for plants is just bizarre. Maybe, have one plant, but, they understand that this is there's Kitty, one of my passions. I love taking care of plants. I love watering them, tending to them, watching them grow, repotting them, fertilizing them, everything that's involved with plant care. They don't get it, but, as Tanya said, this is my apartment, so that's the way it's going to be. The second thing that's odd to them is my decorating, my eccentric or odd decorating. I have a lot of objects. Maybe call me a maximalist. I try to be a minimalist, but it doesn't work. I collect things. I have a lot of things, little statues, odds and ends, a lot of pictures, lots of pillows, tons and tons of books. That's another thing. They generally have no books. Books are expensive, for the average Baiano, and I collect books. So I think that's another odd thing for them. Another thing that I think they find odd is how I keep my kitchen. As you can see, Tanya is busy. She's reorganized everything. So Tanya is leaving everything super shiny, clean. Look at, she's cleaning the stovetop right now. I love it. I told Tanya she can come anytime she wants. Her plan, she's going to come every other weekend from San Antonio. That's a 4-hour trip. But, she loves her man, Eliomar, so of course I said she can come every weekend if she wants. Helpful Eliomar, he is doing lots of, he does the practical things. Well, he's great about finding things and buying them and getting them at a good price. He found the stove and the refrigerator, both used, but found them on like the equivalent of a Craigslist here in Brazil. And they both work perfectly. Got a great price. He's really good about that kind of stuff, and he's good at fixing things too. I just told him we need to change the toilet seat. It's disgusting. It's all discolored. So he said, "Oh, I already saw one at the store. I'll pick it up the next time I go out." And I said, "Do you know how to put it on?" He said, "Yes." So he's really good at that kind of stuff. His 14-year-old son, well, he's a nice kid, but he is 14, so I'm going to have a little talk with Eliomar that I would prefer him not to come every other weekend. Every once in a while, maybe once every 2 or 3 months, but I'm just not used to being around teenagers with 14-year-olds. And, they're on their cell phone constantly. He'll have the cell phone on and the TV on and just sitting around. And not the kind of energy I need. And another big cultural difference is the cat. I love my cat. Anything and everything from my cat. Like a lot of Americans and Europeans, we spoil our animals, and they just don't get that. The expense of it. I know that Tanya thinks cats are dirty. I mean, she doesn't say anything. She doesn't complain, but I know she does not like, for example, the kitty litter box in the kitchen. She'd much rather it to be out on the back patio, but I can't put it back there. I would like to, but I can't because the cat will escape. She jumps over, how cats are. They jump over any wall, the curiosity. So I really know she doesn't like the cat in the house, but again, the cat is my kid. But in spite of the cultural differences, we get along great. And I think this is living situation is going to work out fine. I was a little bit irritated yesterday because of the 14-year-old sitting around like a lump in a log. But, he's leaving today, and he won't be back for another 2 or 3 months. I can deal with that. Here's another cultural difference. My collection of refrigerator magnets. I think Tanya finds that totally bizarre and unnecessary, but, I'm the eccentric Gringo here. And now preparing a nice breakfast. You see how much more civilized I live here. It's like living in a real family instead of like a disorganized, messy, old Gringo. Here's Elimar preparing his breakfast. I'm going to be eating it, except I'm going to be not eating the ham. That's another thing that they think is very eccentric, that I'm a vegetarian. They don't get vegetarian at all. But that's okay. I just tell them I'm not willing to eat anything that I'm not willing to kill myself. As you can see, it's wonderful having breakfast with the family, and they've prepared everything for me. I feel spoiled. And you hear this music that's playing, I don't care. I'm going to get dinged for copyright, but I am in love with Virginia Rodriguez, a Baiana. I met her in the street one day. I just love this album. It's called Noish. I love sitting here on the edge of my bed, looking out onto my patio garden, cup of coffee, good people here by my side, having breakfast. This is felicidade, happiness. So alegria na Bahia. And Tanya made me a delicious vegetarian meal. That's soja and rice. It's Sunday and Eliamar is dressed for success. Hi, friends. Que alivio. What a relief. I'm finally alone. I admit by nature that I am basically a introvert. A high-functioning introvert. I can handle people and social situations, but I need to retreat into myself and have a lot of alone time. And having all these people here in my apartment for the weekend is a bit much. They went out for a long walk here in the neighborhood, which is fine. I go out for a walk in this neighborhood every day, so I stayed back, me and Kitty. I'm not complaining. They were an enormous help this weekend, helping me get the house together, fix things, rearrange things that needed to be rearranged, putting things together, assembling things. And the apartment is almost complete now. Kitty's exploring out there. I'm pretty all settled now. And I continue to be very, very happy here in Salvador. Imagine being anywhere else. Kitty always looks like she's about to bite into my plants. Maybe I need to get her some kitty grass. Maybe she's not getting enough greenery. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. As always, beijo, ciao.